updraft from the heat from the flare, but it's not going to be enough to counteract the weight of the actual flare itself.
Grider, anything to comment?
No.
Nope. All right, so let's move on then. All right, so the next video would
video
be
3.
Video 3.
Down.
Wait.
Video 3.
What the hell is even that? Yo, I'm about to be one of those crazy old motherfuckers. What is this shit? You're gonna see me in my basement.
All right, so you do get a frame of reference.
Now it's not showing up in my camera.
So that's interesting at the very end. He says, now it's not showing up in my camera. And someone right next to him said, yeah, the same. So we got 2 people recording at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Not being visible to the camera. Could it be that the IR is playing tricks on the camera? The IR flare? If it were to be a flare, Grider?
I mean, I would think that if it's a cell phone camera, cell phone cameras can see IR. You know, that's like, all right, so back in the day, a big thing that I was trying to do was break the cannonball run, which is like going from the East Coast to the West Coast nonstop as fast as possible. You know, in a car, just nonstop, you know, going from the Red Ball Garage in downtown downtown New York City to the Portofino end on the West Coast. And so I had built my car up with a bunch of anti-speed enforcement countermeasures, and I had jammers. So they would jam laser, they would jam LiDAR. And what they did is they used infrared. They matched the pulse, the IR pulse of like the cop's gun, so that it kind of just like diffused it. And the way that I would test my jammers to see if they were working is I would pull out my cell phone and I would just look with my camera, and then I would use like a tester to basically activate the jammers, and I would be able to see the pulses of light. It's the same thing. Like you can see IR light, you know, just barely, but you can still see it with a cell phone camera. I'm not too sure about like normal cameras if you're able to see if they have IR filters. I doubt it, but I could be wrong. So,
but the eye can't see IR. The eye can't see it. So
that's not true. The eye can see
visible
IR.
light.
If it's in the 850 nm, I don't know what nm stands for. It's like the measurement
nanometer.
Of light. Nanometer, yeah. But if you go down to like 750, then it's completely invisible. I don't know what nanometer these are. You know, the IR flares are though.
So and where I paused it, ironically, it kind of comes back into frame, and we have a faint light, but we're missing one. But we know where it would be. It would be right about here. So I find that to be interesting. Let's play through the rest of the video.
Yo, I'm about to be
And there comes.
What is this shit? You're gonna see me in my basement.
So again, he gives us a frame of reference.
Now it's not showing up in my camera.
Okay. So
we already commented on this, so let's go to the next
video.
video.
No, I know. I just wanted to see it again. This is video 4, correct?
If it says video 4, then yeah, I think we were on video 3, but now we're going to be on 4.
Wait, are you guys not with me? Oh.
I'm with you, but I can't see it.
That's the hardest part, guys. I'm so sorry. Is trying to balance like getting these videos up and down.
You're doing great, man. You're absolutely doing great, Todd.
Thank you. All right. So this is so we need to go back to what?
Video
4?
4. Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, this one's interesting. Can you guys can see it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I told you all this research wasn't for nothing. I knew aliens were real.
Got some weird comments.
There's more lights around it.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
I told you all this research wasn't for nothing.
Okay. I want to throw it to Arthur. Can you tell me what you think is significant about this clip?
Well, the most important thing, which is in pretty much every clip, is that they're all baffled by what they're seeing. They're not able to identify what they're seeing. So whether you want to argue this was flares or not, it's indisputable that the witnesses at the time of the event, while they're witnessing in real time, could not identify what they were seeing, even though they're trained military witnesses.
Okay, and do you think it's odd that one of the military personnel talks about research into aliens? Do you think there could be a bias here, and maybe some degree of what Grider is saying makes sense when he says that a hoax could be being maybe a hoax wasn't planned, but they end up seeing weird lights in the sky, right? That they didn't understand or know about that it was going to happen, right? They are actually just flares, but the guy like me, who's clearly in that platoon or battalion or whatever, who does want to believe. Is there a possibility?
Yeah, absolutely. I think confirmation bias is something everyone has. I can definitely see that if maybe one person who might be a respective person in the group might say, that's a UFO. There's no way that's anything but a UFO. You could see how there could be some group think happening within the, that little cluster there. But my pushback to that, which is important, is that we don't just have one location. We have multiple locations, hundreds of feet away from each other, where you can hear the people commenting on the event. And it would have to be some sort of mass hallucination at that point, because you couldn't attribute that to like one individual starting up a thought within everyone else, because it's happening in two different locations far away from each other. So they're separated from one another, meaning that it's not just one person that's causing this.
Okay. And again, I think that that's what's amazing about the military is it's people from all different backgrounds. And I don't think just because you look into aliens and you're into the topic means that, nothing that you say about a sighting is credible. So Grider, this clip, does it stand out at all to you? And
besides the sparking, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's the one that it sparks, right? Because I was watching it, but
It
I couldn't really see
flashes.
it. Yeah, like my eyes are bad, and so I mean I can't really tell. But those flashes, I found out what those are. Those are chaff. That's what that is. It's chaff. And I've got
Where are the running
videos,
lights? Where are the running lights for the craft launching the shaft?
You don't typically run with your lights on when you're training for combat.
Yes, you absolutely do.
No, you get
You're
shot.
required by FAA
Yeah, I mean, no,
to
no,
have
no,
running
Arthur,
lights.
it's not just not true. It's not true when you're on a military base doing an air training exercise, preparing for combat. You train for combat like you're in combat. You don't have your running lights on. you have them off. You absolutely run dark. Now, if they were to leave the restricted airspace and enter the civilian, air highways, I forgot what they call them. Then yeah, they absolutely would. They would turn on their ADSB and they would turn on their running lights. Yeah, but absolutely
Can
not. They're
we?
definitely they're
This is something we could look up. We could look
they're
this up.
100%.
I was
I
gonna
can't.
say,
I can tell you
can
because
we?
because I've trained for combat, and that's you don't
But you were
like
never
you're
a
absolutely
pilot.
running dark. I've been inside of an aircraft at night training. Like we've done sling loads, we've done air assaults. Not like
Well, we
a
can
t-
come
not
back
an,
to this because
exactly an air assault.
this is an objective
Just
fact that we could find. So it's not an
I'm telling
opinion
you
of
that it's
one
a
or
fact.
the other.
This isn't an opinion. It's just not an opinion. You train like you fight, and those pilots are
Arthur, look it up.
100% wearing nods. They're 100% they're wearing night vision goggles, and they have all
Well,
their
okay,
lights
so
off.
my claim is that aircraft on 29 Palms would have running lights operational 100% of the time, and
You can
the
even see
claim
a
from
video of an
Grider
osprey.
the claim from Grider is that sometimes they do not have the running lights on. So
There's a
so those so
all the time. Hey, there's a FOIA photo from John Greenwald from this FOIA release where it shows an osprey flying with its lights off over the camera. I'll send it to you right now. Ty.
those were photos. So if blinking running lights might not be captured in a photo.
So I looked
Yeah,
up.
I guess I can give you that.
So I did look it up. So military aircraft actually aren't bound by FAA rules. They have their own set of rules to follow. Having said that, though, their rules are basically follow the FAA rules with a few exceptions. Yes, one of those exceptions is for lights. Military aircraft can turn off their lights after dark, but only if they're actually flying a mission in an active war zone or if they're doing training in an area that's been cleared of other aircraft. And that's according to FAR 91.209.
Okay, well I'm wrong.
B.
Thanks for the fact check.
Yes.
So you're right,
Yes.
Ryder. It could have been an aircraft with no running lights launching
The
chaff.
anti-collision lights need not be lit when the pilot in command determines that because operating conditions, it would be in the interest of safety to turn the lights off. Those are other instances.
Hey,
but
so a big part of my case of my counterpoints is that there was a major air exercise going on at this exact same time. There was multiple air assets. I'm talking about helicopters. They were doing what's called a what's it called? I don't have the paper pulled up, but like they were doing a major air refueling. They were doing counter air with like actual contractors flying like a Hind, which is a big chopper that it's like the attack helicopter for the Russians. It's called the Hind, the Mi-28. They were flying an Mi-28 during this exercise as like an opposing force, as an OP-4. They were also flying a couple of, I think it was 4 different fighter jets, the F-1 fighter jet, as like an opposing force. There was dozens of air assets that were flying, helicopters, planes, and jets that were flying within this airspace in this exact same hour time period, like right at this
I would
exact
need to
same
see
time. I've got all
do
the
we have
evidence.
the
I've got
doc?
it. Yeah,
All right.
I've got
So
it.
I guess we'll get there.
And
We'll
I
get
would
there.
not argue with the fact that there was training occurring at a military training base. That's happening continuously all the time.
Okay. This is location B, Camp Wilson. So
Yeah.
okay. So the next video we're about to see is when we start seeing other flares in the same sky as
The 5
object,
lights.
the lights. Like, yeah, let's just call them lights because I'm gonna say it either way. Because that'd be siding with one of you. So I'm gonna pull this up. Let's add it in. So you can see that orange light right away, right from there.